Hi, Lorraine. How are you
Hi,
doing
Laura.
today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. So nice to see you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk about creating a professional practice, one, two, and the working group today.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's great to sort of get the information out there, and it's been changing a lot.
Mhm.
It's been evolving, and I'm really excited about where it's going.
Yeah. So I was so excited as someone who has a professional practice to hear last year that there was a new transmission coming through that Merlin wanted to support our evolution in the lineage as healers and small business owners. So maybe you could just catch people up who aren't familiar with, how CPP2 came into being, and you've only taught it twice so
Right.
far.
Right,
So
right.
there's
Yeah,
there's
no, it's interesting how creating a professional practice class has evolved and started a number of years back. We recognized that the class was needed. Space was needed where students could come together and really talk about this and bring their concerns. And the professional practice one was taught, and it, to my great surprise, brought in a transmission to support the process. And it was taught for a number of years, and it changed and it evolved. But what I began to see was within class, there were two separate conversations that were starting to happen. There was the conversation with the group of people that were just really thinking about, how do I get started, and what do I need to think about, and what is the structure? And then there were the people who already had a practice, and they were dealing with a different set of problems, a different set of concerns. And there's a lot of overlap between the two, and people found that repeating the class, was very helpful and all of that. But I was really feeling that there were two different concerns happening. And so Merlin provided another transmission, another transmission that would come through, so I could really focus on, the different sets of questions. And what I found was, what I felt was going on for creating a professional practice day 2, is that the transmission was a little refined, and what people really needed was a much smaller group. I wanted a much smaller group so I could talk one-on-one with everybody at some point during class. And as I was dialoguing with each individual, people would say where they are, what's going on and what are their concerns, and people would resonate with that. And as well, keeping the class very small allows us to work in groups, which is something that I really wanted to bring in. I wasn't sure how to initially do that, but that's something that we have been starting to work with, which is working really well.
Mhm.
And so having a smaller class size allows me to put people into breakout rooms and start working with groups, which is a really important part of where we want to go with that work.
Yeah. And you know that I credit slash blame creating a professional practice one with moving all of my part-time work as an energy healer and tarot and astrology also to being a full-time practice.
Yeah, congratulations. It's really amazing what how
Oh,
your business has evolved. It's wonderful to see.
thank you. And it's absolutely been in tandem and supported by and facilitated through Vortex Healing, and in particular, your classes, and the fact that I just started taking and creating a professional practice, and that question of, work as a creative expression,
Yeah.
surrender to the divine in all of these different ways, but, really through what I do on a daily basis, it's transformed and enriched my life. And as you said, new struggles emerge when you take your practice from being something that's maybe for fun or a hobby, a side hustle for your very small local community, to something that's like, oh, I need to support myself doing this. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
having a more national reach, things like that. So CPP2 feels like it's right on time because the world needs more healers. More people are being called to healing. Our lineage
Yeah.
is growing. And I believe you said that the transmission focused people's intention.
Yes, it helps to focus and clarify.
Mhm.
So in both classes, the transmission comes in, it runs while the dialogue is happening. So it's not like other class structures where sit for 45 minutes or whatever. There's an ongoing conversation. And while we're talking, the transmission underscores everything, helping to clarify. As you know, I ask a lot of questions. I'm bringing people into trying to bridge their awareness into where they're coming from when they're looking to start a practice, and why, and how can you imagine this looking. And while we're having that conversation, the transmission is running, deepening that, clarifying that, and helping people to be able to align with the movement of divine intention that's flowing through in regards to bringing that practice to life. It does it in one way in day one. It does it in a very different way in day two, but it underscores everything. And of course, like any other vortex healing class, this may raise a lot of issues because, as you well know, it's terrifying to really make that commitment, especially from stepping from just a side hustle. And there's no shame in a side hustle. It's how you learn, it's how you develop. But when you really step into full time, many of us have to give up financial security to do that, and really struggle, and it can be scary. So it brings up all of these issues. And then on top of the transmission, I'm offering a healing to help work with whatever their biggest obstacle is, whatever that biggest issue is. And that transmission allows the healing to go that much deeper.
Yeah. And I felt like CPP2 was such a gift because, I also teach classes in tarot and astrology, and I just got this like incredible download of information of how to synthesize all these different pieces that I've been exploring and thinking about for years. And it was like one of those aha moments that you like pray for.
Yeah.
And yeah, I felt so grateful. But as I'm sure you know, and lots of other students have experienced, being in an ongoing healing, awakening process, when I take a class, the next level that's offered in vortex healing, new blocks often arise, or I just go
Sure.
deeper into the
Yeah.
same ones. So I was also really thrilled that you said that you felt like you wanted to do ongoing working groups for CPP2 graduates, because what I have found is that I'll be in these incredible classes like Merlin's Grace or UAP. I'll get all of this, healing and release, and really feel, okay, this is the level I'm going to be working at now, and feel so connected. And then there will just be this, greater confrontation or drop
Yeah.
into my own issues and my own blocks.
Life happens, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And then that beautiful realization, that aha moment that you had in class, which is very valid,
Mhm.
you have to sort of keep bringing that to every moment. And that is challenging if you're really bringing it.
Mm.
So I felt like, I'm sorry, I think I interrupted you. I just got so excited, but
Yeah.
I felt just like the community really needed a professional practice, and a professional practice too. I think we need ongoing support.
Mhm.
I think
Yep.
I wanted to create a space where practitioners could really come together, share their struggles, work in groups. I have an idea. Let me show you, my website. Let me talk about this. Let's re-examine these questions. Because when we have problems that come up, when we have concerns and we don't know what to do, revisiting the fundamental questions that we ask and variations on that guides us to the correct answer, instead of someone from the outside telling us, oh, our business should look like this. Everything is geared toward what is in integrity to you. You know, where are you coming from when you're establishing your business? And then that, following through on that, answers all those questions, and it becomes a joyful expression of, you know, something that's in integrity with that divine intention that's flowing through, and helps manage the problems, because when you're clear about what your role is and what your expression is, then you know how to manage things going forward. We just get scared and we forget.
Yeah. And when you said that you wanted to do working group sessions every 6 to 8 weeks, I was thrilled because, you know, I think anyone who's on the awakening path, there is just no way to know what's going to arise and when it's going to arise. So that sense of, you know, there being ongoing support, there being a place to both like take the questions, the concerns, having a forum of people who understand, and then also to be guaranteed to get a healing. I'm personally really thrilled, and I'm really happy for the community. And I feel like it's such an expression of Merlin's love and you know, your grace that it's getting to be offered to us. So
Thank you.
excited.
Thank you. I'm excited too. And I wanted the follow-up groups to be part discussion. You know, they're 90 minutes long. So part is discussion where we can regroup. I can work with this sort of guided meditation format, which is kind of unique to what I've been doing here. So I wanted to allow time for that to address, you know, people's concerns where they are now, and then offer a full healing to whatever, you know, issue, obstacle is coming up for people. So I wanted it to be 90 minutes so we had time to do all of that. And I wanted to do them periodically and have, you know, people be able to come to one. If they miss one, that's fine, come back. We're trying to do scheduling, and you know how hard it is at different times of days, different days of the week. So people from Europe can participate in one, and people from California from another, and you know, just be able to be available in that way. And then people are free to do what works for them. They're optional, of course.
Yeah, and I have found your guided visualization or meditation processes to be so incredibly powerful. I was first introduced to that kind of format when you did the issue series in, I think, live in person at the Omega Institute in 2019, which was, you know, such a thrill and a treat. And I miss it. I can't wait. Here we go, 2022. But I guess I was wondering if you could speak to why that kind of format works so well, because it feels incredibly immersive and deep.
Yeah, no, you know, that developed with the issue series, and the idea of the issue series that we're examining different universal issues. And I really wanted to develop a means to help get people's awareness into what that issue is for them, how it sits in their system. So I ask questions, you know, it's kind of an inquiry. It's not an original idea, but I found if I structured the questions in a particular way, and then of course brought the higher level tools, you know, the sense of safety, you know, clarity, all of that, that it could really help people get in there. And as I made that a practice working through the issue series, Merlin sort of supported that via transmission. So something, you know, I was at first sort of doing it via the Vortex Healing tools, but as the work developed, as I opened, you know, as everyone else opened, and as the lineage developed, you know, a deeper transmission came into that in addition. So that was a structure I was using for the issue series, and still do when I do separate issue series events. I'm using this, we'll call it a guided meditation, but the meditation part is really part one of a two-part healing. You know, it's helping people meet their hardest stuff, you know, supporting that process. And then when they're there and feeling safe enough there, then part two of the healing comes in to really bring them deeper and support a deeper release. So that was the structure that developed. And I found just applying it to the work that we're doing in professional practice when we're really in there. When we're facing the issues, when we're feeling hopeless, when we're feeling scared, coming back to those fundamental questions I'm asking and the issues that come up, it seems like the perfect way to address that. And so that's what we've been doing, and people have been very responsive. We've only done one regroup, and I was very happy with how it played, and we've been getting a lot of very positive feedback from that regroup.
Yeah. And, your slides are always really meaty and you ask really good questions. And I know there were a lot of students who in CPP2 asked for, is there some way we can like work with this material? So,
Yeah.
You've been adapting the slides into worksheets that are being given at the working group. So I just feel like there is a lot here, and I'm excited to see where it takes the lineage in terms of bringing vortex healing more into the world, and that so desperately needs a lot of healing.
Yeah, no, I mean, we were so pleased with the experience of the regroup, that the guided meditation and all of that. We realized we really need more of that in that professional practice day too. So we're going to bring it, as well as, keep the information that we've been offering in terms of, people always want to know about social media. People want to know about, rules and such within their state, within their country and all that, being able to keep those elements. But the thing that really makes it unique is the transmission, is the guided meditation structure that's been created. And hopefully it will continue to support people, because vortex healing is extraordinary. And sometimes it can be difficult to describe, and someone has to feel really comfortable in where they're coming from and what they're bringing to the world as a practitioner before putting it out there.
Yeah.
Being in integrity with that will draw the right kind of client to you and help you feel comfortable in expressing yourself in terms of what your business is and what it is you have to offer. So, this is the work that gets you there.
Yeah.
And then things begin to line up. So it's great. We have something amazing to share, and I'd like to, support everyone in sharing it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next working group is going to be January 15th, you said?
January 15th, which is a Saturday. We wanted to do it on a weekend. We wanted to do it at a little earlier. We'll do it at 11 a.m. Eastern time, which might allow for, people in different time zones to be able to make it. And like I said, we'll try to change that up every, 6 weeks. We'll try to do that differently so we can accommodate as many different schedules as possible.
Yeah, our friends outside of the United States, our friends on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Great. And then for those who missed the first round of CPP2, you're teaching both classes again in February, and CPP1 is a prereq for CPP2.
Right. And the only class that's a prerequisite for the first day of creating a professional practice is the foundational. So we recognize a lot of people are coming in, excited to have a practice. They've studied other things. They want to sort of pull it together. So it's something we wanted to make available to people as soon as possible.
Fabulous. And the dates of those classes, I believe, are February 12th and 13th. So
that's right.
Give a little love to yourself right before Valentine's Day.
That's right.
Yeah, great. Well, I can't wait. Is there anything else you feel like people should know about this series?
No, just that it's an ongoing exploration, like everything else in Vortex. But every time I've taught it, it's been very different. I learned that from the professional practice day one, that, depending on the group, what are the concerns that they bring? What are the answers, the responses? It's sharing. So different groups bring different things to the table, and it just makes the class so much more rich when people really show up. It's not a class where people come and hang back. It's designed so that people can really share their concerns and what's going on. And so it's different. It's very different every time.
It never gets old. I've probably, I was like, how many times have I taken CPP one? Probably a lot at this point, maybe 8, I
Yeah.
don't know. But you know, the transmission deepens and it's kind of like yoga where I've heard the same thing over and over, but then suddenly it just clicks or I'm able to
Yeah.
articulate something finally. So yeah, fabulous.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll just watch as it evolves and, make it available. And, it's a wonderful way. It's another wonderful way of bringing the community together as well.
Hmm.
The classes, but also the regroup is an opportunity, different mix of people, find out what different people are doing,
Yeah.
which is amazing. We have amazing people in the community doing extraordinary things. So it's great to hear about that and support that.
Well, I'm looking forward to tech hosting these classes. I can't wait to see new people. I can't wait to see repeaters. And where can folks register for this?
This is on my website.
Okay.
I'm the only one who teaches the professional practice. So you can
Mhm,
go on lorrainegoldblum.com
mhm,
and you can just register if you've taken the foundational for day 1. Day 2 has the prerequisite. So, you go through the registration process. You email Lou at registrar at lorrainegoldblum.com and they will send you the link. Make sure you have the CPP1 as the prerequisite, send you the link to sign up. It's really easy.
it is. Yeah, it's a great process. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. It's great to talk about it. I appreciate it. And
Uh,
we will see you soon.
Okay, sounds good.